Good morning, everyone. I don't think you've ever gotten quiet that fast in a long time. You must be looking forward to today. I'm Tina Conyer, and welcome to Unity of Sebring. How is everybody this morning? We're going to begin our service this morning with our peace prayer, followed by an announcement from our glorious leaders. So if you'll join me together in our peace prayer, which is up here on your screen, together please. On this day and every day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear and meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice and experience a sense of unity with all people, in harmony with ourselves, our lives, and all others. We live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Now I'm going to turn it over to Trish.
So I'm vibrating especially this morning, as you might have seen already. I don't have a framework wherein which even a year ago this day would have existed. I hope you can hold that with me for a moment, because that's how possibility works, and that's how things move when we tap into the flow and we simply live allowing. So I need to take you back at least a dozen years first, to a prayer chaplain retreat that my husband and I were attending. And we were going through days of events, and we were nearing the end of the retreat. And I don't know if any of you have ever attended these types of retreats, but by that point you are exhausted, excited, raw, completely immersed in what is happening and just really in the flow. And we did an especially powerful activity, all 20 of us in this circle. And at the end of the activity, my minister said, "There's a song I'm going to play, and I want you just to sit and bask." And he played Michael Gott singing Amazing Things. And within the first two lines, most of the group was quietly crying. You'll hear that song today, and when you hear it, I invite you, just as we were, to sit in it and steep and allow it to inform you. It informed me in that day because about halfway through, I heard very clearly inside of me, "You're going to be a minister." And I was immediately jolted and scared and crying and sitting there thinking, oh my goodness gracious, no, I wasn't even an LUT yet, though I was on the path, and that was as far as my imagination could see, was licensed Unity teacher, youth director for the rest of my life. And later that day, when my husband and I were back in our hotel room, I said, I need to tell you something that happened during that song, and I just need for you to hold it with me and tell me what you feel. And he said, and I told him, I said, I think I'm supposed to be a minister. And he said, of course you are. He said, I've known that for years. He said, it's about time you finally caught up. And he held it with me. We had a family meeting. I'm a mom. I had to make sure it was okay with my kids to keep going and going through what the process would be. And in that day, I thought, wow, this man is amazing. And I started listening to his music, and I've loved his music for decades. I knew of him before that, but that Amazing Things changed my life, literally. And about a year and a half ago, I was at Unity Convention, and there he was across the room. And I did something I've never done before. I took a sneaky picture. And I sent it to Mike, and I said, you won't believe who's here. And we ended up at a table together later that day or later that evening, and he's here. Yeah. So for a little girl who grew up in Unity, who has loved this movement since I was 6 years old, who never thought she could be a licensed Unity teacher, who never thought she would be a minister, who never thought she would lead a Unity church, I tell you, I am proof of unity. This works, and this masterful reverend that you are about to hear this morning, I'm so glad you're here. Listen, absorb, enjoy, and I welcome Michael Gott.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you, everyone. I do feel very welcomed. I'd like to start with a congregational song. This is one I wrote for the church before my church. A while back, I found this movement, or it found me, singing in a bar in 1993 in Dallas, Texas, and I was asked to be a part of the Center for Spiritual Living there, and I was there for 17 years, and I wrote a lot of music for that community. But this song I really wrote about community. So it's pretty simple. I'll just sing, and the lyrics will be on the screen. As soon as you feel like you have it, just join me in singing Come Together. This is not the Beatles Come Together. It's Michael Gott Come Together. Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together. Together in one song. It's the same melody. Come together. From different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together. Together we are strong. Here's the second part. I see God in you. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are home. I see God in you. I see God in you. You see God in me. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together. Together in one song. Together in one song. Together in one song. Beautiful.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. We're going to move on now to the lighting of our Christ candle, and I'd like to invite forward our associate, Mike Davis, as he comes forward to light our Christ candle for us this morning. Let's all welcome Mike with that unity love. As he lights our Christ candle from the God candle on the stage and he shares the flame from the one candle to the other, it reminds each and every one of us that we too have within us that Christ light. And just as he's going to share the flame, and sometimes it takes a couple times to share it, you can go out in the world and you can share your Christ light with others, because once you share your light, remind them that they too have that Christ light within them to share, the whole world is going to shine. So thank you, Mike, for sharing your light with us so wonderfully this morning.
Beautiful.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Michael for another song.
Well, this is my hit that I'm about to teach you, if you don't know it, because Karen Drucker recorded it, and she sells a lot more records than I do. But this song, when I was brand new in this teaching in the 90s, I didn't really understand what you all were talking about, because I came from a very different kind of a church where it was all about judgment and, and heaven or hell, and so I didn't really understand it. And then my first teacher, my first minister, Reverend Claudia Franklin, she said, well, you know, Michael, what we really teach is that everything is love. And that resonated with me. And one Sunday morning, I was like, we need some new songs in our church. And I went to my keyboard, and this song just sort of poured out of me. And so if you know it, sing along. I believe Trish is going to be joining me on this one. And it's very simple. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Let's sing it one more time as a prayer, as an affirmation that every place in the world that is looking more like a cry for love than love, that there's some place in your family or in the world right now that you would just like to hold in this truth, that love is present right there. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Isn't he awesome? Let's just tell him how awesome he is.
Thank you.
You will notice that the service is a little different in order today, but you guys go with the flow, so I know it's going to be perfect. We're going to move on now to the reading of our Daily Word. Daily Word is a publication of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and our word for today, March 9th, 2025, is awake. And our affirmation is, I am awake and fully present to life. Will you join me in that affirmation, please, together? I am awake and fully present to life. Awakening from sleep, I pause for a moment to feel the energy of a new day. Birds outside my window sing a greeting. My still closed eyelids sense the morning light. Letting go of the delicious relaxation of sleep, I stretch my limbs, open my eyes, and rise from my bed. Awake, fully present in mind, body, and soul to each activity of this day and to each person I meet, I feel truly connected. I engage fully with my daily work, study, prayer, and recreation. I notice details in my surroundings and see expressions of love and kindness I may have overlooked. Each moment becomes more vivid and meaningful. Nothing seems ordinary when I'm awake. My life is a journey of discovery and appreciation. And our scripture this morning is from Mark 13:37, and it reads, What I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Again, our word for today is awake, and our affirmation, if you'll join with me together one more time, please. Together, I'm awake and fully present to life. There we go, we got it together, and so it is. And now we're going to move on to our statement of being and our mission statement. If you'd like to join together with me, they'll be up here on the screen. Our statement of being, there is only one presence, one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And Unity of Sebring's mission statement. Together, please. Unity of Sebring is the radiant expression of the Jesus Christ message of truth, light, and love, shining forth to welcome and bless us all, quickening in each person an awareness of our inherent value, worthiness, and purpose. And before we welcome everyone here this morning, we're going to start, and Michael's going to lead us in song first, and then we'll do the welcoming and the meet and the greet.
So I was joking before, you can take the boy out of the Pentecostal church, but sometimes you can't take that church out of the boy. So this is a little New Thought Holy Roller song written by Ricky Byers from the Agape Center in Los Angeles. And I'll do the intro from by me and God, and then you'll see when the lyrics come up on the screen. I need your joining me. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you discouraged, you're struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Let's stand. I release.
Stand up, everybody.
And I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
we're going to go ahead and greet each other. And then once we get back together, we'll welcome the people that are here for the first time. So let's join together and greet everyone while he plays some music for us. Hugs and handshakes if you're so inclined.
Yes, I'm only here for God. No, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on and sing with me now. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see that light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. The Spirit. To get free, you have to find your yes. Let me hear you say yes.
Yes.
Let me hear it one more time. Yes. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Now, if you could all be seated, we're going to take just a moment. And I love it. My Apple Watch said, loud environment. I love it.
I warned you.
I love it. So at this time, like I say, we're doing things a little different today. I'd like to welcome anyone that is with us for the very first time. If this is your first visit to the Unity of Sebring, boy, did you pick the right day. And if you wouldn't mind, would you please raise your hand, because Joe has a couple gifts to give you this morning. I know we have some newcomers out here. I see some new faces. So keep your hand up, and Joe is going to come around and give you your gifts. Where's my Joe? I don't see my Joe. Oh, there he is. He's over there. Okay. So what you're going to be receiving, you're receiving two things. You're receiving an envelope with information about Unity in it. It's got all kinds of information about our center and about the Unity movement. If it doesn't answer all your questions about Unity, we'll be happy to do that for you. So please just contact us. We'll be happy to talk with you. On the outside of that envelope, there's a little piece of paper that asks how you heard about us. If you wouldn't mind filling that out and popping it in the offering basket, we would appreciate that. We like to know how people hear about us. And it also asks if you'd like to be on our mailing list. Simple yes or no will do, and we won't fill your inbox or mailbox with a lot of junk, I promise. The second thing you're receiving is a necklace of seashells. And the seashells in that necklace are just like we are. They're all made of the same stuff, although each one looks a little different from the other, but they're all made of the same stuff, just like we're made of the same stuff, God's stuff. And that cord that holds that necklace together is like the cord of God's love that holds us together. So wear your necklace this morning. People will greet you after service and welcome you. And we're so glad that you joined us here on this special day. So thank you so much for joining us at Unity of Sebring this morning. And now I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
Yeah, we're going to move into our time of meditation. This is one of my favorite things about Unity churches is that we do spiritual practice together when we gather. And this is a song that was requested by Trish, and she's going to join me. We're just going to do a little bit of this song and move into our time of meditation. So I invite you just to set aside anything you're holding on to, either physically or mentally. Just breathe and become present. Now my hands do your work. Now my lips speak your truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit, Spirit in me. Now my voice sings your song. Now my heart is at peace. Now my soul is the laughter of a child. Spirit, Spirit in me. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. So if you haven't closed your eyes, I invite you to do so now if that's comfortable for you. Lower your gaze. And now just bring all of your awareness to the next breath that you breathe. Drawing into your body temple the breath of life. A friend and prayer partner of mine, Melinda, she says that every breath is a love letter from God. All of the trillions of cells in our bodies require one thing for life and function. It's a steady supply of oxygen. And with every inhalation from the moment we left our mother's body until the moment we lay our own body down, it's there. We have evolved on this planet with this oxygen-rich atmosphere. All of the plant life of Mother Earth creates oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. And so as the sun shines on our beautiful home, all of the plants are just living and being and giving what is theirs to give, and we bring it into our bodies. It's a beautiful example of oneness, of unity. This circle, this cycle of giving and receiving. And as we use the oxygen we need, our body releases the carbon it no longer needs and carbon dioxide in our exhale. And guess what? All of those plants use that with the sun to create all of our food and create the next breath that we may require. So let's bask in that beautiful, beautiful gift of life in the next breath. Breathing in the gift of life. breathing out that which we no longer have need of. We are a part of one life, one web of connection and mutual support. We're not alone. We have never been alone. We could never be alone. Staying with the breath to complete our meditation. Maybe there's something emotional or mental that we've been holding on to that we have no longer need of. If there's any resentment or unforgiveness, any fear, we can imagine that we're just going to let it go in the next inhalation. And what we're breathing in is pure spirit, pure light, pure love. Whatever quality of the divine we require, imagine that it's in that next breath. Life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, joy. We release, we receive the gift of God. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Now my hands do your work. Now my lips speak your truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit. Spirit in me. Amen. Don't put your microphone down. You've got a little more singing to do. I feel so connected to you all. Thank you for welcoming me into your community today. I'm going to talk plenty. Let's just sing. I let it go. I release the thing I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more I need to do, nothing more to say. I'm just falling into God's love. And I feel the Spirit holding me, and it is lifting me on high. I rise on a power I can't see, and on the wings of love I fly. I fly. I let it go. I release the thing I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more I need to do, nothing more to say, just falling into God's love. don't ask why. I don't have to understand everything. It's by faith I fly, and it's by grace I sing, and so I sing. So, seriously though, what time do I need to stop? Okay, all right. That's true. I got a plane to catch. So, hi. I'm so happy to be with you. Even though it's my first time here, I do feel very much at home. There's something about unity that just creates a wide open, welcoming space. And I grew up in church. As a matter of fact, I think I have been in a church on a Sunday morning, usually singing, playing the piano, or preaching, I think probably 98% of the Sundays in my life. I grew up very church, but it was a different kind of a church. So yesterday at lunch after the workshop, I was telling some jokes about another denomination. Denomination that may be just, a little more judgmental and condemning than we tend to be in unity. I have to tell you, a good friend of mine, she didn't grow up in any church, unlike me, and when she found unity, she just fell in love with us. But her husband grew up in a church like mine, and he was a little dubious about coming to church, but he came and he kind of got into it as well. He had let it all go, Then his sister was going through some really difficult times in her life through her marriage and with some addiction going on, and she came to stay with my friend and her husband. And before she came, her mother, who was still in that old church, said, "Don't let Stacy take you to that Love Everybody church." What a terrible thing to be, a Love Everybody church. If that's our reputation out in the world, I'm okay with that. So there was a church that was not unity, and the preacher was getting ready to give a sermon, but before he had a table set up, kind of like this one, and he had 4 jars. And in the first jar, it had a label on it that said, rum. And he took a little box out, and he took an earthworm, and he dropped it in the jar of rum and put the lid on. Didn't say a word. The next one was labeled tobacco. Same thing. He put a worm in the tobacco jar, put the lid on, didn't say a word. The third was chocolate sauce. He pulled that worm out, dropped it in the chocolate sauce, put the lid on, and didn't say a word. And the last said, good, clean earth. He took a worm out, put it in there, and put the lid on, and didn't say a word. He preached this whole sermon. Finally, he came back at the end, and he said, I bet you're wondering about these jars up here on the table. He said, if you'll notice, in that rum, there is now a dead worm. And in that tobacco, there's a dead worm. And in the chocolate, there's a dead worm, but then he pulled out the worm out of the good earth, and he said, look here, what can you learn from this lesson today? And a little church mother in the back, she said, if you don't want worms, don't do, oh gosh, I got it wrong. Drink alcohol, smoke tobacco, and have chocolate, and you won't have worms. That was the punchline. Thank you for forgiving me. I messed up my punchline. So here in Unity, we do honor all paths to God except the one we grew up in. So no. That's actually not true. And that is a healing, that's a healing edge for many of us. We have to come to terms with our past in maybe some religious instruction or religious dogma and come to see it as just a part of our journey. When I came to Unity, I mentioned I was singing in a gay piano bar in Dallas, Texas. A minister came in. I thought he was going to ask me out on a date, and he asked me to sing at his church in 1993. And I thought, what kind of a church is this? That sends their minister to a gay piano bar to try and find someone to sing for his church. And I thought I may have found my church. And I did. 33 years later, I'm still in this movement. It has healed me and changed me in so many ways. Now, that church was not a Unity church. It was our sister denomination, the Center for Spiritual Living, founded by Ernest Holmes. And this is Ernest Holmes' favorite saying, which he would say when he gave a sermon. He always said this somewhere in the sermon. There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. This teaching of New Thought is a teaching of empowerment and wholeness. I've called my talk today a greater power, a power for good. There it is right there. I don't have this at my church. We need to have that in my church so I can look up there and remember what I'm here for. I love it. We teach one power, not two. We do not teach the dualistic reality that good and evil are in a battle for our soul. We don't teach that here. What we teach is that there is only one power. It is good. And it is what we are. That we have not a fundamental brokenness, but a fundamental wholeness. We don't teach original sin. We teach original blessing. And so the work of our spiritual lives is to come back to that truth. Is to find all the places where we have forgotten or not yet awoken to the truth that we are one with God. And this is a powerful commitment. I don't think we are the Love Everybody Church yet, but we're working on it. We're not perfect. But we are seeking as communities of faith and as individuals who have aligned with this truth of unity, of wholeness, of oneness, that we are committed to living as best we are able day by day in the light of God. Jesus said, don't you know? You are the light of the world. He also said, I am the light of the world. But it's when he said in John, don't you know? You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. I believe Jesus was a teacher of non-duality. He said that you would know my disciples. Well, know you're my disciples by what? By your love. By your love. So we may not be the Love Everybody Church yet, but we're working on it because we are walking in the footsteps of Jesus the Christ. We're walking in the footsteps of all the great mystics and masters of all the world's great traditions who have said we're in this together. There's no them out there. I've been hammering this pretty hard to my community lately. We're in a time of great political division, and we don't have to talk about political parties or ideologies, but I hammer this because I say, listen, our teaching doesn't allow us to dehumanize any group. There's no other in unity. We are all in this together. And so we want to come together and discover this power greater than we are. This power that greater than we have yet embodied or realized. The story of the prodigal son is one of my favorite of the teaching stories of Jesus, the parables. And I'm not going to tell or read the whole story, but it was a certain man had two sons. And the second son said, I want my inheritance now. Well, right then and there, Jesus would have just really irritated his whole audience. In first century Judaism, there was nothing more disrespectful that a child could ever say. It was like, I wish you were dead, is basically what they were saying. A friend of mine, Jill Carroll, she's a former Rice professor of the philosophy of religion. She's a world religions expert. And she said this parable should actually be called the prodigal father.
And we probably think prodigal means sinful, wasteful, bad, right? That's most. Anybody else grow up with that idea that the word prodigal meant something bad? Just me? Okay, y'all went to the right churches. Great. We'll wrap this up real quick then. I think you already got it. Prodigal means generous, unstinting in its givingness. So what did the Father say to the Son? He said, of course, yes. The metaphysical interpretation of this is that the Father represents, it's not about gender, it's not about just a male God in heaven with a long white flowing beard who may or may not give you what you ask for in your prayers. It's not that. It represents source of all good. One power, greater than you are. You can use it. And so the Father said, here it is. It's yours. So the kid, like, all of a sudden got some money in his pockets. Wine, women, and song. Here we go. A friend of mine from my 12-step program, she said, for me it wasn't wine, women, and song, it was men, whiskey, and Neiman Marcus. Wild living, wasteful living. You see, the metaphysics of this is we are given the good. We can use it. But what Ernest Holmes didn't say is you can use it for good or ill. You can use the divine creative energy, the power of creative thought. You can use it, and here's the secret. You are using it right now. And if you want to know what you're using it for, look at your life. Look at your checking account. Look at your relationships. Look at your body. Look at these ways that we're using divine creative energy. That the law of mind action is always responding to our thoughts and giving us not what we want, but what we are in consciousness. See, that's the secret of the secret. We don't get what we want through this teaching and through this process called co-creation with God. We get what we are in consciousness. And so the Son, he thought he was the stuff, and so he removed himself from source, went to a far-off land, and wasted it all, and then had nothing. A famine came on the land, and the only place he could get any food was to slop the pigs. Again, this would have really irritated Jesus' audience. The pig was the most unclean animal. You couldn't come near a pig. And to have this disrespectful, hateful son now being among the pigs was bad. I mean, this was as low, as disgusting as you could get. Jesus did this a lot. The Good Samaritan is another example of this. That would have been the most despised person to a good, upstanding religious Jew of Jesus' day. Jesus was controversial. Jesus was here not to confirm the status quo, but to wake us up. That's why I'm yelling right now, in case anybody in the back was asleep. And an interesting thing happened there in the pig pen. Do you remember? The way it's translated into the King James is, he came to himself. He came to himself. He remembered who he was. He remembered that in his Father's house, all were fed. There was plenty for everyone. He remembered that his father was a good man, and he had an idea, well, I've already wasted the inheritance, that's gone, but maybe I could just go be a servant. You know, and the metaphysics of that is that when we have tried to live our life by our own power and to the degree we are cut off from source, we are empty, it makes us willing. We're humbled. For me, that was getting to the bottom of a bottle of alcohol for the umpteenth time when I knew I couldn't live that way anymore. And so I had to go to another place where people gather in spiritual practice and tradition. And I began to live a little more humbly. You might not think I'm that humble after you hear me today, but I try to be. And this is my favorite part of the story. And so he's going back home. It said, and yet when he was a far way off, his father saw him and ran to him. All we have to do is turn back towards source. We don't even have to get where we used to be. Just turn back towards source. And the very divine, creative, loving energy of intelligence just moves to us. It's here, right where you are. The moment you come to yourself, the moment you turn to source, you're here. Once again, and there was no cost to be paid for his wastefulness. The father said, bring the finest robe, put a ring on his finger, signifying that this is not a servant in my house. This is my beloved son. And sorry, vegans, but kill the fatted calf. And then the older brother, the one who had stayed, never wandered far from home, was filled with resentment. He said, you've never done this for me. You've never greeted me. You've never even given me a goat to kill and eat with my friends. Sorry, vegans. And the father, do you remember what the father's response to the older son is? Everything I have is yours. We are all three of these characters. Do you know this? When you do metaphysical Bible interpretation, they all represent a part of us. The Father represents the part of us that has always known its connection to Source, always known, has never forgotten. It is our higher self. It is the Christ mind within us that we're waking to now. It is that true, it's what we truly are. It's the light that Jesus spoke about. That is in us. The Divine Mother, Father, creative source of all being is in us, not in a distant heaven, but here. And there is that part of ourselves that separates. It says, no, I've got to figure this thing out. Oh, that wears me out, having to figure everything out. But I do it. And there is that part of us that's like, I'm going to get my good by doing right. I'm going to follow the rules. There's part of us that's I'm going to earn my way here. I'm going to earn this connection to Source. But the prodigal Father, the generous Spirit of life itself just gives and gives and gives and gives. And this is the power that you're invited into today, is to live in harmony and live in awareness that I'm already a blessed daughter, son of the Most High. I can let go of those feelings, those old beliefs that we talked about. We did some deep work yesterday in the workshop on releasing conditioned mind, releasing those old stories that we tell about ourselves about who we are. We did a wonderful practice that I was happy to introduce, releasing prayer. I release my belief in lack. I release my need to fear. I'm grateful God is the abundance I am. And all of us created our own prayer for that as a way to come back. And what happens when we come back to oneness? Well, guess what? We're going to get our lives working again. And here is my favorite part of the story for all of us. When we're restored to the family, we become a source. We become a servant. We become one of the ways. Jason Gray is a wonderful Christian artist. He has a lyric that says this: God put a million doors on earth for love to come through. One of them is you. You become a window of heaven. You begin to be that place where God shows up in human form. I love God in human form. I love when God shows up for me as a helpful friend who's sometimes saying, you're thinking about this wrong, Michael. That's not the way this works. You know better. And sometimes just to hold my hand while I cry. That's God in human form. We get to be that for one another. I mentioned I came from a very fundamentalist. Why do I do this? I don't know what that is, but that's how I feel. Get it right, Michael, or you're going to burn up in hell forever. Oh, Lord. I might need some more work on my religious past. I don't know. From the Eastern traditions, this comes from the Sufi path. And the Sufis, they pre-existed Islam, but when Islam took over Persia and that part of the land, they said, okay, we'll be Islam, that's fine. We'll be Muslims, it's no problem. They had a deep non-dual tradition going before they were ever apart, but now they are part of the Islamic path. This is a modern translation of Hafiz. You are the sun in drag. You are God hiding from yourself. Remove all the mine. That is the veil. Why ever worry about anything? Listen to what your friend Hafez knows for certain. The appearance of this world is a Magi's brilliant trick, though its affairs are nothing into nothing. You are a divine elephant with amnesia, trying to live in an anthole. Sweetheart, oh sweetheart, You are God in drag. You. That's the end of the poem. Isn't that good? Yeah, let's applaud Hafez from the 13th century. Modern translation, but he really captured the playfulness of this beautiful mystic poet who lived in the 14th century, in the 1300s. This playful inner relationship with all that is. Shake us up a little bit so God can use us. Another poem, he says, sometimes God wants to get us alone in a tiny room and practice his drop kick. Hold us upside down until all the nonsense shakes out. Life has done that to me a few times. It has done it to me. The last thing I want to tell you today is that you don't have to be perfect to be the light of the world. Me too. We are of the same cloth, you and me, Trish. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. There's a step of 12. I'm going to out myself a little bit. The 10th step of AA, which is now in so many different iterations for people that struggle with addictions in all forms. It says that we continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. It doesn't say if we're wrong. It says when. When we begin to tell our story, admit that we're wrong, admit that we're human, shame loses its power. And some of you need to tell the truth about what's going on in your world. Before you can get to the spiritual truth of the I am presence within you, we have to tell the human truth of, I messed up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I do a lot of the Ho'oponopono. You know that prayer from Hawaii? Beautiful prayer. Simple prayer to get us back into oneness, acknowledging that we sometimes forget. Yesterday we talked about the term of false beliefs. We work to heal our false beliefs. My mentor, Kathy Hearn, says, every time we heal a false belief, we heal it for all people, past, present, and future. This is one of the ways that our individual work raises the consciousness for all humanity. Romans 8:19. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. When I became a minister, and I think I'd once memorized all of Romans 8, but I think they put that part in there since then. I read it much differently 15 years ago. That I'm up here, but I'm there with you. I'm just a human. I've always told people, I'm not going to fall off a pedestal because I'm not going to let you put me on one. I lead with my humanity so that people can understand this is for all of us to do this work. But because I am up here, I have a really good view. I see you. I actually have this tattooed on my body, right here. For the creation waits in eager anticipation for the children of God to be revealed. Why do I have that on my body? Because I need to remember for my entire life, my job is to go, I see the children of God being revealed. I see the children of God. I see the child, the daughter of God being revealed right there in that chair. And this is our work for each other. Is to see each other as God being revealed in human form. I want to close with one of my favorite poems from Mary Oliver. I have a friend who's trained in the Methodist seminary. He's now retired from Unity pastoring, but he said in Methodist seminary, they said, here's how you do a poem. No, here's how you do it. I didn't sleep well last night. I missed that hour. Here's how you do a sermon. A joke, 3 points, and a poem. Well, today you got several jokes and at least 2 poems, but this is my last poem. And then I'm going to sing a little bit for you. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
I think we're going to do a song right here. I'm going to do a song right here. It was promised. You don't have to be perfect. You already are amazing. This is written by Janice Stanfield and Megan McDonough. Amazing. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make. The real your deeds is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go, the people you will know. Don't worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Stay here in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. You will do amazing things. It's real simple. I bet you could sing it with me. Amazing. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Look at somebody and let them know. Amazing. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Now think about what this community can do. We, amazing, amazing. We will do amazing. We will, amazing, amazing. We will do amazing things. We will, amazing. amazing. We will do amazing things. I can feel the energy in here. Amazing, amazing. We will do amazing things. And we've arrived at my favorite moment of singing this song. If you are truly a courageous light of God, I invite you to place your hands over your heart. And with all of the truth telling you can muster in this moment, I want you to sing to yourself, amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. Yes, yes. Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. You will do amazing things. Thank you. Thank you.
I feel we have done amazing things to have this man up on our stage. Thank you, Michael. We've come to our time of giving now, and we have a wonderful statement of giving that we'd like to share before we share our gifts. And if you would join together with me in our statement of giving, please, together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Now Michael's going to bless us with another song for offertory.
Let your light shine through me in places where it's hard to see, where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine. Let your light shine through me in places where it's hard to see, where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine. Let your light shine through me in places where it's hard to see, where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine. Where love is dim and hearts and eyes are blind. Oh God, let me shine.
At this time, Paul Farrell is going to bring forward our prayer box. For those of you that are new, we have a prayer box that sits out in front of the water walls before service. It's up here after service. If you have a prayer request, a prayer need that we can share with you, please fill out a prayer request form and put it in our prayer box, because that's our biggest joy, is to be able to pray with you. It's what our ministry is based on, prayer. So, and we have wonderful prayer teams that'll pray with you, and we also send these prayer requests out to Silent Unity, where they're held in prayer for 30 days. So please, if you have a request, share it. And we just want to take a moment and say thank you, God, for the names that have been placed in this prayer box. We see those needs being met and answered even before they're asked. We see the best and highest good manifesting for those in need of prayer right now, because we know before it's even asked, it's answered in God. So thank you, God, for answered prayer. Amen. Amen. And Pam's going to bring forward our offering this morning. First of all, we would love to thank you for all of your gifts. We bless these gifts. We bless the givers. It gives us the opportunity to share this wonderful unity message in our community through this wonderful facility. We also share with our gifts out into our local community in several different ways. So thank you for the ability to do that. We bless you and we thank you for it. And we're going to bless this offering and say, dear God, we bless this offering. We release it on wings of love, knowing that it go forth to do a great and mighty work. So thank you, God, for the gift and the giver. Amen. And now we're going to quickly move on to our announcements. They'll be up here on your screen. We have our class descriptions. For those of you that are new, we have a bookstore back here, and in front of the bookstore we have what we call our information station. And since we don't do bulletins anymore, anything you need to know is on that information station, pretty much. So we have a list of our class descriptions, and also there's calendars for the month that'll tell you what's coming up as well. This week we have Midweek Meditation Connection on Wednesday, March 12th at 5:30 p.m. And it's followed by a talk with Trish for things that might come up and things you might want to discuss. And that'll be this Wednesday, March 12th. Now, next Sunday after service, we're going to be holding a new member class. If you want to become a member of Unity of Sebring, you'll need to attend this class. And it's going to be held after service. Trish will be holding the class. And we always do this before we have our annual meeting, which is going to be on the 30th of March this year. So if you'd like to become a member and vote at the annual meeting and do all, you can come in on March 16th, next Sunday after service. It'll be held in the classroom, I believe. Yes, in the classroom. Also, a new group has formed. They're going to be sharing an open Reiki share, energy share, and it's going to be done on the last Wednesday of every month at 1 p.m. And the first date of this share is going to be March 26th. I don't think that's been added to the calendar yet, so if you have a calendar, add it to your calendar. But March 26th will be the first open Reiki energy share. Oh, yes, thank you. There's a sign-up sheet if you'd like to attend. They want to get an idea about how many people might be attending. So there's a sign-up sheet on the information station if you wouldn't mind signing up, so they can have an idea how many people might be attending. Also, a group is going to join together, and they're going to make paper beads. And we're going to do these paper beads to make our newcomers necklaces to save on the shelves. So if you're interested in helping to learn how to save the snails. And if you want to learn how to make the paper necklaces, it's going to be the first and third Monday of the month at 4:30 p.m. We'll remind you when these dates are coming up. And the first date's going to be March 24th. Also for this project, if you have wrapping paper or magazines with the shiny pages, that's what they use to make these beads. So you can save those and bring them in, and we'll use them for that very thing. Also, we have some leftovers from our parking lot rummage plant sale, and it's out in the portable classroom, which is right out here in the parking lot. If you're interested in finding out if there's something you just can't do without, Marta's going to go out there after service and man it. So if you'd like to go out and take a look at what's in the portable, please do. We may try this for a couple weeks, and if we don't release anything, then we'll donate what all's left. But please, if you're interested, Marta's going to be generous enough to go out and handle that for us today. And the Youth of Unity, which usually meets on Sunday after church, will resume on March 23rd. My son-in-law, who is the sponsor, thank you, I did sleep last night, Michael. I should be doing better. He will be back for March 23rd. Right now he's in Germany, but he will be back on the 23rd. And we have your March, April Daily Word magazines in the bookstore if you're interested in getting one. And the March community giving for this month, we're collecting things for animal services, which is animal control. It's run by our sheriff's department. And on the information station, the piece of paper that has our talks for the month, the talk topics, also has a list of what animal control would like to have, because I know that's kind of hard to read. So if you don't want to give a cash donation and bring something else, just look at the list on the back of the paper. Also, the Highlands Ridge Chorale is going to be performing on March 15th at Founders Hall in Highlands Ridge and March 16th at St. John's Methodist Church. The times are on the flyer, and there's copies of the flyer on the information station. If you're... She didn't think I'd get that one in there. Now, I know we had one other announcement because Hippie told me he had an announcement. Let me walk back here. So if there's any others, raise your hand while I'm back here, and we'll let him make his announcement, and then I'll...
Well, while you're walking back there,
Thank
Tina,
you.
I do have CDs for sale. I know most of you don't have CD players, but I've got a garage full of them, so take all you want. There's a love offering basket, and if you need a credit card, I can do that, so just let me know.
I was going to say that, I promise.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to let you know, from 12 to 4, there will be a fundraiser at the Snackcade. It is at 3804 Kenilworth Boulevard. This month's raffle, they're doing 2 tickets to Lowry Zoo. There will be pictures with Mario, video game character for those of you who are not aware, as well as walking tacos vendors. We're trying to raise money for the kids in town.
This is for the after-school spot, and that is a organization that our church has supported and sponsored in the past, the after-school spot. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. Are there any other announcements, Trish? Anything you need to say or want to say? Oh my God. So we're all going to rise together and recite our prayer of protection, followed by the peace song to close out our service today. If you'll join with me in the prayer of protection, please. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now we're going to form a circle of love and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
Amen. Go out there and be unity. We love you. See you next Sunday.
Trish, Tina, and the production team thank you for joining us. You can submit a prayer request donate, and find more information on our website at www.unityofsebring.org.